Worst mayor in America. Years of complaints from residents and from business owners, even the town's own board of trustees, have culminated in a federal investigation that has led to 2 subpoenas being delivered to Village Hall in Dolton, Illinois. And at the center of it all is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the worst mayor in America, which is really saying something because the mayor of New York City is the subject of a federal investigation concerning whether his campaign conspired with the Turkish government to receive illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources. And even earlier this month, a Middle Georgia mayor was removed from office after being indicted on charges that he stole money from the city. So for Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard to boast the title of worst mayor in America, you know she's up against some stiff competition. Henyard has been under fire pretty much since she took office in 2021, with accusations ranging from corruption to harassment to retaliation. Multiple lawsuits have been filed against the mayor claiming improperly denied business owner licenses, sexual assault cover-ups, and wrongful termination. And as crazy as all this sounds, it's not even the topic of today's video. Well, not directly, at least. Because what we're focusing on today is the federal investigation that led to multiple subpoenas being served. And while the filed lawsuits didn't cause the subpoenas, the acts described in them are most certainly related. Unsurprisingly, the FBI is being rather tight-lipped about what exactly they're investigating and where exactly they are in the investigation process. When asked about the subpoenas, a spokesperson simply said the agents were conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity in that area. That's not very helpful. Let's discuss what we do know. We know Henyard has been accused of, through a Fox News 32 investigative report, using the Dolton Police Department as her own personal security detail by pulling cops off the street to form a protection outfit, with one officer even working 303 hours in one pay period, which resulted in a $13,000 paycheck. Just so we're on the same page here. There are 336 hours in a 2-week pay period. That leaves just 33 hours for that police officer to not be working. That's bonkers. It also might be illegal for a couple of reasons. Some larger law enforcement organizations are unionized and they have caps on the number of hours that they can be compelled to work, but that's not true for most departments, and I don't think it's true in Dolton, which means as long as there's not some odd OSHA regulation that I'm not familiar with, it's actually probably quite legal to work a law enforcement officer 150 hours in a week. It's certainly not against the law as long as you pay them overtime for all the hours over 40. But it is crazy. I mean, crazy. Since a human being can't actually stay awake for all those hours in back-to-back weeks, what the taxpayers were paying for is a police officer who was just dead asleep for many of the hours of each work day, which is really a sleep night. Mayor Henyard has also been highly criticized for several expensive work trips to cities like Las Vegas, which her security detail accompanies her on. Sidebar: if you're a corrupt politician and you need a security detail in your hometown, that's fine. You made enemies, I get it. But if you're in Las Vegas, no one knows you there. Dolton also has been accused of not paying multiple vendors for services, including tree trimming, repaving roads, and even car payments. And that's not all, because Henyard has also been accused of withholding building permits and business licenses, both in a lawsuit by a business owner and in a lawsuit by an allegedly wrongfully terminated employee. Henyard's reasoning? People that just didn't donate to her campaign, or just she didn't like him in general. Wow. If I need to tell you that is illegal, then you and I, we really need to catch up. Because here in America, we want our government to treat us all equally under the law without having to buy protection or favors from politicians. I mean, this is the most basic type of corruption you could possibly conceive of. Unfortunately, it can also be hard to police if you have a governmental executive like a mayor who's bent on breaking the law, because the executive branch of our governments have broad discretion in how they carry out their function. That can be a rat's nest. And because the discretion that's built into the executive functioning of each government, abusive mayors like this can get away with things. Except some venues will have anti-corruption statutes which make it easier to protect the public. But generally, the solution to these problems happens at the polls when you vote and not at the courthouse. And there's more! Hinyard, fabulous multitasker that she is not just the well-protected mayor of Dalton. No, not at all. She also works as the Thornton Township supervisor. But hey, look, when your employees are capable of working 300 hours in one pay period, what's 2 jobs to you? It's nothing! Hinyard did not waste any time to effect change once stepping into her role as township supervisor, primarily by slashing the township supervisor's salary by 88% for her potential successor. Yes, Tiffany Hinyard passed a measure through the Thornton Township Board that would reduce the salary of anyone who beats her in the re-election next year to $25,000 from the current $225,000 that she is currently receiving per year. This measure would go into effect after Hinyard leaves the position because, of course, it will. Many have criticized this measure as an effort to discourage anyone from running against Hinyard for the position, and obviously it is that.
Well, obviously.
And if someone thinks that it's something else, then you're an idiot. When the first branch of government is corrupt and it protects itself through the shameless acts of the second branch of the government, then that's when you need the third branch, the judiciary, to step up. And here's how this breaks down. Someone needs to run against Hinyard in the upcoming election, and once they win, or even now, they could file a lawsuit to declare as illegal this conditional pay reduction law. It's almost certainly illegal, and I don't think it would be hard to get a court to go the right way on that issue. But when you talk about city government, it's very possible to collapse the first and second branches of the government into each other so that corruption just festers. And honestly, there's still more. But we're getting away from the point of this video, which is, of course, the subpoenas. So the FBI arrives at the Village Hall in Dalton last Friday to deliver 2 subpoenas. One requesting employment records, personnel files, and disciplinary reports for 25 Dalton employees who have been described as loyal to Hinyard. The second subpoena was specifically for Village Administrator Keith Freeman, who we will discuss in just 1 second. These subpoenas are a big deal. As you know, the process for getting a subpoena is rigorous. Law enforcement has to convince a judge that there's probable cause to believe that evidence of a crime exists and would be recovered by the faithful and narrow execution of a subpoena, which is another way of saying that a subpoena like this is rarely a fishing expedition. Instead, they have some specific facts or patterns or numbers that they are looking for, and chances are the evidence is going to be in those documents that they have recovered. And can we just pause for a minute and say all together that the gap between a wrongful termination, which is an alleged violation of a civil law, and a criminal investigation, that gap is so big. I mean, you could wrongfully terminate like 1,000 people and never come even close to violating one single criminal law. How can I say this? The house of cards that Hinyard built is about to collapse. And this is really just a personal opinion right here, but of all the things to blow taxpayer money on, why would you have around-the-clock security? I mean, I'd rather have around-the-clock chef. I'd rather waste taxpayer money on something I can enjoy, which makes me think that the inflated hours are more likely for a boyfriend or a lover or a bribe or some other grift. And another thing, which is just a personal opinion and not a legal opinion, I think this mayor might be insane. I cannot come up with a unifying theory to explain all of these other allegations other than just like sheer madness. Now, if you have a better idea, please let me know.
Show me to me, please. Send it to me, Rachel.
Because I don't know if she is crazy or not, but she might be. I have questions. I said I would come back to Keith Freeman, and I'm no super mayor, so I actually will. Keith Freeman, the Dalton Village Administrator and manager of Thornton Township, is accused of underreporting income from his jobs and from his private consulting business on his personal bankruptcy petition. During his first appearance in federal court, a top advisor to Dalton's mayor on Wednesday entered a not guilty plea to an alleged scheme to commit bankruptcy fraud. Now, a key word to note in that summary is the word personal, since he is not accused of lying in the city's bankruptcy petition. But some might say it's highly suspicious that a close advisor to the mayor, who works with her both through the Dalton administration and the Thornton Township, is being accused of the same kind of corrupt behavior that the mayor has been accused of through virtually her entire mayoral crime spree. I mean, career. Of course, some may say that. Others may say one thing has no connection to the other. But what do you say? What are your thoughts on the subpoenas served on the Dalton administration? Do you believe the charges will be pressed against Mayor Hinyard? Please drop down below in the comments and hit me with your pro se opinion. And don't be shy, hit the subscribe button because I've got more videos coming soon, potentially about Super Mayor Tiffany Hinyard. I don't think her legal troubles are over, and I want to see you soon. Bye. Who we will discuss in withholding building permits and business licenses